That's me. This is me standing, and that's my brother, Herman.
Mm.
He was born in 1926. My brother and sister in 1934 in Aflax, Kentucky. That's in the very eastern part of Kentucky, as far as you can go. That's me and my brother Herman.
Okay.
I thought you knew my brother Herman lived in Evansville. Matt Moore, a cousin of ours, and me and my two brothers. Herman and James Carr. He's the only one of us dead out of the 7 of us. And he's my brother. It's me and Herman and James Carr. He's the only one that's gone. Died about a little over 2 years ago. That was taken, I don't know when that was taken. It was on Easter Sunday. At my Uncle Isom's house, the house is gone. And it's a school teacher and her daughter there. And the rest of my brothers and sisters, my dad. My mother's taking the picture. I think that's Matt and me and my brothers, Herman and James Carr. We call him Snoop. I don't know the year that was in. Had to be about 1937. Oh, that's Dad and my younger brother. That's that's me.
Lord.
It's been a long time ago. Me when I was in service, 1947. I was in the Air Force. I think 21st ground transport, 21st ground transport in the Air Force. Most all, everybody my age is just about gone. And Emma Richard, that's a neighbor of ours. Me and my first wife, when we got married. And that's her sister on the right, and that's her cousin on the left. And they all gone, ain't nobody living with me. See, she was a wolf for 43, and we have a picture of my brother, youngest brother, sitting on my father's lap in 1943. Now, I got a sister, the youngest sister, she wasn't even born then. And about 3 weeks ago, I think I'm right, see this fella here? I'm in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He'll soon be 81 years old. And all the rest of them, I believe, Aflax, Kentucky. Appalachian, that's where I raised, that's where I grew up. In the mountains of Kentucky. And that's where I was about a little over 2 weeks ago. You know, all my sold at the company store. Well, that's the way we lived. We lived in the company house. The doctors was the company doctor. The hospital was the company hospital. And the company store, everything was a company. But they had their own money. You ever hear of a company having their own money? Well, they had their own money. It was made out of brass, strip. And you could draw it if you got it before payday. But if you got it before payday, then you had to change it to the regular U.S. money, and they charge you 25 cents on the dollar. And so when you hear him saying, "All my sold to the company store," the company had everything. It sure did.
Oh, that's something.
You got your electricity, you rented your house, everything from the company. I got a statement here showing all the things that in 1939 my dad made, how much money he made for 2 weeks' work and all that stuff. Sure, we went up there and got it. All their cars and all their vans will be black or green. The Mennonites. Now the Amish, they don't drive no cars. They don't have no electric. They have one phone in a community, and it's for everybody. in case of emergency and everything like that. Now, all their clothes are all girls are taught to make clothes. They make their own hats, they make the men's hats, they make all their clothes, men's pants and everything. They do not use zippers, they use buttons. And if you will notice, well, you can tell by the men, I don't know about the women, but if a man has a beard, he's married. If he's not married, he can't wear a beard. And a woman, there's something about her dress that you can tell. And they always wear black or blue or green. They're dark colors. They don't wear no white, flashy colors. And you haven't had any experience with them people, huh?
No.
Oh, that would be something. It was against the law. Slavery was not allowed in Illinois. But what he would do when slaves get across the river, he would capture them and take them and keep them on the third floor of his house and sell them back into slavery. See, they were free when they got across the river, but he'd get them. And these here big old killers, they were huge, almost half as big as this porch. And they had salt wells, and they would take the water and boil the water down and get salt. And they sold salt by the bushel back to the government and was distributed among the people. And that's what these big killers are. You know what McDonald's is on Green Street?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been down Washington Street very much?
Yes, sir.
All right, you go down Washington Street, not toward the river, but away from the river, and go down that dip. You know how the Washington Street goes in that dip?
Mm-hmm.
And go up on top of the hill. And on the left is an old rooming house building there.
Yeah.
Well, that was a hospital.
Okay.
That was written, that's where he died. And he left a wife and 10 children. And at that time, a wife's part was only equal to the child. So it's 110 acres. So she had a child's part. And then some of them were, most of them, not all of them, were underage. So that made her have, what you call them, guardianship over. But in and around, she had different ones to sign, and they didn't know what they were doing. And they just got it all mixed up and signed and sold and tried to, and it won't stand up. And that's how it come out. It was hard to deal with. So we had him, when we sold our part, we had him to stipulate in our part that he'd get his part, wouldn't be sold. He could have his part. But he would have the option to buy what he wanted of our part from the other man. We didn't deal with it, see?
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't good for family to deal with family. You know that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had a power of attorney. Everybody was ready. Everybody was ready to sign. Had my sister there, Bill and her husband, ready to sign. They came to Henderson to the lawyer's office, and they were ready to sign. The phone rang. The secretary stopped with them and answered the phone, and they changed their mind. They wouldn't sign after he got off the phone. And they were dead again. The whole thing was all gone. Called the real estate person people, and I told them, I said, do not finish it because it's not legal. Nobody bought that from us at all. And I said, I called the lawyer and said, don't make no more deeds because you can't make a deed like that because we own that property, not the man that said he owned the property. I stopped to do the track, and his lot is still sitting up there. And then I told him, I said, first place, I said, I want some money for y'all destroying trees on the property. Well, no trees worthwhile, but anyhow. So they said, we'll give you $100. And I said, I want you to buy the rest of the property, our property, and every person will get $2,000 a piece and be no expense to make a deed or lawyer's fee. And they had to agree to all that.
Mm.
And I got it settled. That's where I got that film. It didn't cost us nothing. Everybody got their $2,000. Do lots of times do me better than they do. Give me things, do things. They're my stepchildren. They don't have no father. They don't, and the grandchildren don't have no grandfather. And they recognize me. Now, if something happened to me, I want them to be recognized. And I recognize them in all things. Except if the property. Now I can't actually just go and give them the property like I would my children because it's their heir, more or less, according to the old deed. A survival deed, they heir to their mothers to an extent. Of course, they have the right to sell it, but I'm not going to deny them. So I have 4 children and 4 stepchildren. Now, the stepchildren wasn't recognized. Would it? It's right on the river. And you catch the ferry and go across the river in Kentucky. And that's the end of number 1, and it becomes 90 in Kentucky. Goes on into Mira. But what they used to do, them outlaws used to be in that cave. It's right on the river. And when a boat would come along, people skirting boats, people rode the boat lots, back then, travel a boat years ago. They would get together, go out there, hold up the boat, rob the people, kill a bunch of people, throw them in the river, and that's the way they done it. It was rough. Go in there, that's on the side of the mountain, that's where the mountain was up there. I was up there, the building's still standing.
Right.
Tap. You see, when she got free, she married Tap. But before she was free, she was a Thomas. She was owned by Thomas. And the Thomas that owned her was my great-grandfather, the white man. So that's how that come about.
He was white?
Yeah, he was a slave owner. Yeah, he was white. The Thomas was. The Thomas name comes from the white slave owner. And I've met one woman that was his granddaughter. And that's all I've ever met of that family. But my grandfather was his son. He had 2 children by my great-grandmother. Had a daughter and a son. His son was my grandfather. All right? And then he had children by his white wife. But he had 2 daughters that lived in and around there at Caesar. And my grandfather used to go see them. They were half sisters and brothers. And they kept up with one another real well.
So the slave owner was white, was Thomas, and he had a wife that was white, and he had a
slave that was black.
And he had baby by her.
He had baby by her, two children, a daughter and a son. The son was my grandfather. So my grandfather was just like a white man. And if you see any of the children, now, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, that white is coming out of them. That's the reason if you see they have dark parents and brown-skinned parents and they're real light, that's what that is. That's what happened. The closest high school, black high school, was 33 miles over 3 mountains and no kind of transportation. So I had to walk down the river, a railroad track and a small road, to a railroad bridge and go across the railroad bridge over to West Virginia and then go to the high school over there. I had to walk 3.5 miles each way every day to go to school, high school, and walk from one state to another, from Kentucky to West Virginia. And now they don't want to even walk 3 blocks of school, do they?
No, sir.
So that's the way it was. That's the way we live. You put the front porch on it.
Front porch on it, I put 5 rooms on the back, so it's just a little square.
It's 5 rooms, plus 4, plus about 9 rooms.
Got 9 rooms now.
That's something.
Well, I'm working on the truck.
Okay. Pick it up. Some steel roof on it.
Mm-hmm.
He built all them rooms on that.
they let me out there once in a while. Had to go back a lot, they let me out there once in a while.
We're taking pictures of the house and the place around here. We just gonna build those houses.
Oh, now you can go, he didn't go nowhere yet, you didn't go nowhere. I feel better, I feel, can't do a whole lot on week at
Well,
all.
I thought that you all saw jogging down the road.
Oh, yeah, I get a warm here than younger man hard to get around. But that's good.
So, Mr. Bucket, they made a nice front porch.
But I'm still trying to kick it.
That's right.
Long time trying, I guess that's all it counts.
All right. First grade year. Her name was Louise Thomas Tapp. And she was buried here in 1915. And at that time, the highway was right there. You come right through there and come right by here. She was buried right on the highway. But see, they have moved the highway over since then. Which is other people been buried here. Now, to show you, everybody buried, when you bury in the cemetery, you bury with the head to the west and the feet to the east. And what older people say, and they do that, it's common. So everybody that when they rise up facing the rising sun. Have you heard that before? Now, yeah. They find graves. These are the what's called. Now, let's see. I'm standing over a grave right now. Somebody's buried here in the Saman. And the reason it's Saman because these here fold inwards. Now, I'm going forward. When I get to a woman, they'll operate different. Now this is not great, this is a woman. See how they operate backwards? See how they operate backwards? That's a woman, that's female. Now let me go in and see if I can find some more graves. May not be none out there. Yeah, here's a man buried right here. Male. And now, what about that? Go back to its original position. Now I'm off the grave now. I'm off the grave. See how they move? That's it. What about that? We buried him here. His family's still out there. They've never been here. His wife died about, ex-wife, about 6 months after he did. And I got these nephews, they've never been here. I flew out there and saw them though. Yeah, let's see. So I don't want one.
Yes, show up.
He's 87. I think 87. Brother. And you remember very concept. I showed you a picture.
Okay.
And the next tombstone here, that was a first cousin of mine. He was a baby, more or less, you know. His name was Hero. And then here's the grandparents. Most of the time, when they bury a man and his wife, they put them on the wife on the inside from the outside of the cemetery.
Okay.
This is my uncle. Right here. But now his name was not George. They took the
father's stone, when they put in the new one and put it up there with his head. But his name was Shirley Edwards. And he died way back in the 30s. Yeah, they got him married in 1919. Well, the record shows 1920. He died in 1940, she died in 1977. So she lived, what, 27 years, 30? After he died. My dad's sister right here. She was her old when she died.
Your two?
These are my two children, a boy and a girl. And they died in birth.
I'm trying to see, what did I get? What's up here?
Who's that? See, we got children on our feet. This is the head of our law. Something to my wife now says she don't want to be buried here, she want to be buried down Mount Vernon, but I don't know, it depends when she's gone. If I'm the longest living, what else is wife? You bury whoever you want to on it. You bury your sister, brother, in-laws, or whatever, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's your lot. And nobody come protest cause stones like that. You can get those for about $135 to $50, $60 a piece with the names on it. People don't know that. Who was it? Solomon
Mm-hmm.
was the smartest, was the smartest man that ever lived. But I'll tell you, somebody was smarter than Solomon. You know who it was?
No.
It was Adam. Adam named things that they don't even know the name of today. But when he sinned, he lost. We lost. We're just learning what Adam named everything that was named.
Mm.
And Solomon didn't know the name of everything. Excuse me, people get carried away with stuff.
Tanya's great-grandfather, Tanya's great-grandmother. But this is Tanya's great-great-grandmother. And that's my great-grandmother. This is my father's grandmother. What would that be? Way on up there, wouldn't it? So what? And then there's the birthday. All of them born in Kentucky. And then we see what it says. He was male and he was black. He's 49 years old in 1920. That's what it said, but he's actually 60. And then here we have Eliza, his wife, and she was 60. Then we have, this is George Thomas. This is Tanya's her grandfather. That's her grandfather, George Thomas. And he was 21 in 1880. And then there's my dad, Charlie George. He was 18 in 1880. Buck Tap, he's black, and he's 80. 80 years old in 1880. And this is his wife, which is my blood great-grandmother. And she was 36 in 1880. Betty Tap was another daughter, 13. Green Tap, 10. Robert Tap, I don't know who he is, 6. And Laura, that's the Gilbert's grandmother, she was 4. Green Tap
he couldn't read and write, neither could my grandfather. So there was a man shot a man, and he was eyewitness. So they had him in court, and they asked him, said, "Did you see this man shoot this other man?" He said, "Yes, sir, I sure did." He said, "Did they shoot him in self-defense?" He said, "No, sir, they didn't shoot him in self-defense, but he shot him in the leg and fell over the fence."
9. And George Thomas was 11. And Goldie, that's his sister. And Randall was his brother. He's 16. Ison would not work. He never had any children, which was a good thing. His wife was named Anna, and he was always trading and get out of work, and when one time come, he had to come home to his dad and mother. Never one. So he come home one, and you know they had big rooms and beds all around. They didn't have a living room. And he was sitting up waiting for us to go to bed. And my grandfather was waiting, and finally said, "Boy, we got to go to bed." They sat in front of the fireplace, so he pulled off his clothes, and he didn't have no heavy underwear. And my grandfather said, "Look here, boy." Said, why don't you wear no drawers?" He said, "Oh, Pap, nobody wears drawers now. Everybody goes without drawers. Nobody wears them things anymore." He said, "Just name me one." And my uncle said, "Name one." And that, he said, "Oh," said he wear them winter and summer. Said, "You got the wrong man." And then people didn't have no doctor back in those days. And she's pretty sick. So they got the doctor. The doctor come there, and he took her wrist and put his hand on her wrist, took his watch out of his vest pocket, watched it. You know how to take calls, you know. Green looked and saw that. He jumped, run over to his sister's house, said, "Lauren, George, y'all better come quick." Said, "What's the matter?" Said, "Y'all is awful sick and she ain't gonna be here very long." Said, "Why?" He said, "She ain't gonna be here very long." He said, "The doctor's timing." So he thought the doctor was timing. My mother's name was Sally, and she's named after her great-grandmother. And my grandmother, they called her Cora, but she's Cora Elizabeth. She had a whole, that's the more name. And the other sister had a name, Zini. Zini, Novi, Missy. So that they all had names to go with. And the man that owned him was named Cap. And the man brought him from North Carolina. You know where Poole, Kentucky is, up above Poole. Brought him in as a little slave boy in a covered wagon. Well, the covered wagon sat in the barn until they rotted down. And this man that brought him here had 2 granddaughters. And they were, when I knew them, they was well in their 90s. I have a picture somewhere of me and them. And they can verify that he was brought here by the grandfather or great-grandfather before 1880 when he was a slave. So I have that documented and verified by them 2 women. I sure do.
That's something.
Granddaughter. Still lives just on the other side of the pool, south of the pool. Her name is Nancy, but I get her last name I know her real well. Nancy. And she's not a Catholic because she married somebody else. My dad had a cousin who was outlaw. He robbed and stole. He threatened to kill, but he never did kill nobody. But he threatened to kill, he went to prison, and they couldn't keep him in prison because he'd break out somehow or another. So, it's a whole lot in there to tell you about him. But the last time, one time he's in prison, he's down here, across the church, he came home, and the police came after him, the guard, told him bring him back dead or alive. So they had 30-30s, and they come out and told him, said, "Come out, or else I'll be shot. Come up, out and give up." Well, he jumped out the window and went out towards the thicket. They shot at him, and every time they shoot, he'd holler. Well, they went into the thicket, and they couldn't find him. They had it surrounded. They shot. Right across the road there is a trailer, but it was a cabin, log cabin. I remember it was moved. And he was over there talking to that man and his wife and their son about how he fooled the police. Nobody knew how he got over there. Nobody know how he got out of that thicket. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
And my grandfather's sister's son, that was his nephew, and he was just as scared of him as you'd be a bear. One day he lived out in the country, my grandfather did. One day he was in Cairo, and he heard that his nephew was out, done broke out of pen. Well, he rushed home that evening and got out his hammer and nail, and nailed his windows all down, and took my grandmother's quilts and nailed them up to the window so nobody couldn't see in, and got his shotgun, and his shotgun, them old ones done been wore out almost, and they wouldn't kick out the hull. He put a 20-penny nail on the table so he could drop that down and kick out the hull and put extra shells on the table, waiting for him to come. So when finally that night they said that, he was listening for him. And the neighbor's dog started barking. Well, when dogs start barking, everybody's dog hear them start barking. They bark. He said, there he is. He's coming. So finally, they went on, and dog close started barking. There he is. So then his dog started barking. He blowed out the window. He got to the door. He told everybody to be quiet. Got to the door, took his shotgun, looked